Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syamira binti Zulkifli. Along with my groupmate Elena Natasha, Afika Maisara and Ain Hidayah. We are from BA 1195C. So today we would like to present the topic that we have been studying in ASEAN financial crisis. So I will pass this to the first part is Elena Natasha.
Is Asian financial crisis. Asian financial crisis is a crisis caused by the collapse of the currency exchange rate and hot money bubble. Asian financial crisis, also called as a Asian contagion, was a sequence of currency devaluation and other events that began in the summer of July 1997. Asian financial crisis was started in Thailand in July 1997 and swept over East and Southeast Asia. Currency market first failed in Thailand as a result of the government decision to no longer peg the local currency to the US dollar USD. The crisis of 1997 affected many Asian countries and include Thailand, South Korea, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore and also Philippines. After posting some of the most impressive growth rate in the world at the same time, the so-called tiger economy saw their stock market and currency lose about 70% of their value. The financial crisis heavily damaged currency value, stock market and other asset price, and also currency decline spread rapidly throughout East Asia. In turn, causing stock market decline, reduced import revenue and government upheaval in many East and Southeast Asian countries.
So my part is causes of ASEAN financial crisis. So the first one is the crisis was rooted in several threats of industrial, financial, and monetary phenomena. In general, many of these relate to the economic strategy of export-led growth that have been adopted across developing East ASEAN economies in the years leading up to the crisis. So this strategy involved close government cooperation with the manufacturers of export products, including subsidies, favorable financial deals, and a currency to the US dollar to ensure an exchange rate favorable to the exporters.
My name is Hidayah binti Muhammad Khalid and I will be presenting the effect of Asian financial crisis. So, what is the effect of Asian financial crisis? Most of the countries that involved in the Asian financial crisis, such as South Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines as well as Thailand, had severe recession. This caused the country loss of confidence and the debt repayment increase. Besides, the growth of the economy became lower because of the firm cutback on the investment. Moreover, most of the country's price of assets, stock market and the currency exchange rate jumped and affected the country's GDPs. From the event, most of the country's GDPs dropped to double digit. For example, the nominal GDP per capita for Malaysia dropped to 19%, Indonesia to 43.2%, 21.2% in Thailand, South Korea to 18.5%, and in Philippines the GDP dropped to 12.5%. Other Asian countries such as Hong Kong, Singapore and others are also affected by the crisis but less than the others. The Asian financial crisis also give impact to not only Asia but the global. Because of the recession or the crisis, the interest rate become lower, thus it helped United States economy to become stable. Next, investors from international countries does not prefer to invest and lend the money to the other developing countries. It also affected the oil industry because they need to deal with the price fall because of the financial crisis. Moreover, the Asian financial crisis also affect the political implication. Due to the event, President of Indonesia at that time of the crisis, Suharto, and the Prime Minister General of Thailand, Yong Chayut, resigned their position as the President and Prime Minister of the two countries. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Afika Maisara binti Ahmad Mushakir. My part is I will to talk about lessons that we can learn from the ASEAN financial crisis. Many of the lessons that we can learn from the ASEAN financial crisis, it also can be applied to the situations that happens today and also can be used to help the alleviate problems in the future. Firstly, investors should beware of the asset bubbles because some of them may end up bursting and leaving investors in large once they do. Another possible lesson is for governments to keep an eye on spending. Any infrastructure spending detected by the government could have contributed to the asset bubbles that caused this crisis, and also to avoid the same issue to be true of any future. That's all from my part. Thank you for listening.